Before we start, if you'd like to see more content, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on for our channel. 10 Fiercest Greek Mythology Creatures. The Minotaur. In Greek mythology, the Minotaur is a creature with the head and tail of a bull and the body of a man, a beast described as half bull and half man. The creature lived in a labyrinth created for King Minos of Crete by Daedalus. The labyrinth was a vast underground maze of hallways and passages, making it impossible for anyone to escape. The Minotaur was consigned to the depths of Daedalus' labyrinth, where he was fed with the flesh of Athenian youngsters. Eventually, the Minotaur was killed by the Athenian hero Theseus. Harpies. In Greek and Roman mythology, a harpy is a half-human and half-bird personification of storm winds. These creatures were generally depicted as birds with the heads of maidens, faces pale with hunger, and long claws on their hands. Their name means snatchers or swift robbers, and they steal food from their victims while they are eating it and carry evildoers. It was said that when a person suddenly disappeared from Earth, it had been carried off by the harpies. The creatures were vicious, cruel, and violent because they would abduct and torture people. Griffin. The griffin was a beast with the head and wings of an eagle and the body of a lion. This creature was considered the king of all creatures because it had inherited the qualities of both eagles, the king of the birds, and lions, the king of the beasts. Griffins were often seen as the guardians of treasure and priceless objects. In early Greek art they were shown pulling the chariots of the gods Apollo and Nemesis, but are also referred as the hounds of Zeus. Depictions of griffins are also found in many diverse ancient cultures including Iranian, Anatolian, Egyptian, European, and Indian. Phoenix. The phoenix is a long-lived bird associated with Greek mythology that cyclically regenerates or is otherwise born again. The bird is associated with the sun. A phoenix obtains new life by arising from the ashes of its predecessor. It was believed that it could live over 1400 years at a time and that it was both invincible and immortal. In ancient Greece, the phoenix was also linked to the civilization of Phoenicia, which has a similar sound to it. When a phoenix was sighted, it was thought to be the sign of a new era and good luck. Sphinx. In Greek tradition, the Sphinx has the head of a woman, the haunches of a lion, the wings of a bird, and a serpent's tail. She is mythicized as a treacherous and merciless beast that will kill and eat those who cannot answer her riddle. Unlike the Egyptian Sphinx, which was a man, the Greek Sphinx is typically shown as a woman. The beast was thought of as a guardian who often flanked the entrances of temples. There was a single Sphinx in Greek mythology, a unique demon of destruction and bad luck. She was sent by the gods to plague the town of Thebes as punishment for some ancient crime, preying on its youths and devouring all who failed to solve her riddle. Medusa. In Greek mythology, Medusa was one of the three Gorgons, generally described as winged human females with living venomous snakes in place of hair. Those who gazed into her eyes would turn to stone. She was once a beautiful mortal, but faced the wrath of the goddess Athena and was transformed into a vicious monster. Medusa, whose name probably comes from the ancient Greek word for guardian, was the only Gorgon who was mortal. Her gaze was so piercing that the mere sight of her was sufficient to turn a man to stone. The hero Perseus was able to kill her by cutting off her head. Afterwards, he used it as a weapon before gifting it to Athena. Cerberus. Cerberus, often referred to as the Hound of Hades, god of the underworld, is a multi-headed dog that guards the gates of the underworld to prevent the dead from living. He was usually described as having 3 heads, a serpent for a tail, and snakes protruding from multiple parts of his body. Cerberus devoured anyone who tried to escape the kingdom of Hades, and he refused entrance to living humans. The mythical dog is an example of what the Greeks feared most in a dog. It also shows the respect they had for the abilities of dogs to be guardians. Cerberus is primarily known for his capture by the demigod and hero Heracles. Chimera. The Chimera, according to Greek mythology, was a monstrous fire-breathing hybrid creature composed of the parts of more than one animal. It is usually depicted as a lion with the head of a goat protruding from its back and a tail that might end with a snake's head. The Chimera was reputed to be near invincible, for she had the strength of a lion, the cunningness of a goat, and the venom of a snake. But this monster's most unusual and common weapon by far was her ability to breathe fire from the goat's head. The beast was also seen as an omen and often appeared before natural disasters. Scylla and Charybdis. Scylla and Charybdis were mythical immortal sea monsters who beset the narrow waters traversed by the hero Odysseus. Scylla was a supernatural female creature with 12 feet and 6 heads on long snaky necks, each head having a triple row of shark-like teeth. From her lair in a cave she devoured whatever ventured within reach. On the other hand, Charybdis was a deadly whirlpool. 3 times a day Charybdis would pull in and push out water with such force that ships would be sunk. Now, we also have 3 honorable mentions. Cetus. The Cetus was variously described as a sea monster or sea serpent with a reptilian head, maw. In Jewish mythology, it is sometimes conflated with the related sea monster Leviathan. Ladon. Ladon, or as pronounced in Greek, Ladon, was the serpent-like dragon that twined and twisted around the tree in the garden of Hesperides. It was the guardian of the golden apples. The monster was killed by the hero Hercules. Lernaean Hydra. The Lernaean Hydra is a serpentine-water monster in Greek mythology. The Hydra had poisonous breath and blood so virulent that even its scent was deadly. The monster possessed many heads, with the numbers varying according to the sources. It was said that every time a head was chopped off, 2 more would regrow. In the canonical Hydra myth, the monster is killed by the hero Heracles. Before we get to number 1, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more videos. Typhon. Typhon was a monstrous serpentine giant and one of the deadliest creatures in Greek mythology. He was named the father of all monsters and was often described as the most powerful and fearsome god monster in Greek legend. Typhon was a winged giant said to be so huge that his head brushed the stars. He was a fire-breathing dragon who had 100 snake heads that never slept and emitted every kind of noise. From the waist up, he was man-shaped with 2 coiled serpents in place of legs. Did you like this video? If you did, make sure to comment down below and let us know what would you like to see on our channel in the future.